Hey, what's up, people? How's it going out there? I thought I'd start a new how-to series on my travels and stuff, and maybe go over like how I moved here, how I move around over here, and how some other stuff later on. But for the first one, I thought I'd start out with how I moved to Europe. Um, and maybe, I thought I wanted to start doing these kind of videos because maybe they could be of some help to some of you that want to do the same thing, or do something similar. It wasn't that hard, pretty darn simple. Anybody can do it, obviously. But this is just my way of doing it, how I did it, which worked for me really well. So yeah, hopefully it'll be something helpful, something for you to use, or if not, maybe something to get entertained by. See about what in the heck that strange dude, uh, how the heck that strange dude go to Europe and why. But well, I already did a video about why, so we won't be going over that today. But anyway, yeah, how it all started was once I sorted out that I decided that I wanted to move to Europe. I decided I had to figure out how I was going to get there, and it all started out about 9 months before I actually left. So it took a little while to get things all handled until the point from where I first started planning and the time I took off on the airplane. But one of the first things I decided to do is figure out what I wanted to do, and since my decision was to move around over there, different places, I figured I'd better have a place to go or some kind of like a home base. Figure out where was I going to start from, and so I started doing some online searches about how I can stay there, because I hadn't ever done that before. I didn't know anything about traveling and length of time in countries and stuff like that. I just had a passport, so I knew you had to have some kind of visa over there. So I started searching around for the different kind of visas that I can get, and I found it was pretty challenging because there wasn't a lot of them were pretty drawn out, and so there wasn't a lot of um, options that I thought in countries that I wanted to go to work that would work for me. But I did find out, on the way that my passport I can get into go into any country. It was a visa-free travel for like 90 days for each country. So that was a 90-day limit. So that was cool. So whatever country I chose to go to or visited, I could stay there for a total of 90 days. And the country I chose to live in for a home base, I could be there for 90 days to give me a chance to sort things out there. So while I was searching for different visas, um, I found a visa that Germany was offering. It was called a freelancer's visa, which was awesome because I was a freelancer and I am a freelancer. And that was great because it was pretty simple to get. You just had to get like a bank account there. You had to open up. You had to be there for a certain amount of time. You had to. I found out where to go and apply. Just fill out the application paperwork, and there was a few other things. I think I had to have a contract to a place where I live, where I was going to live, also to show them. But anyway, so since Germany was offering that, that was a place that I picked to have like to use as a home base to go to first. Um, which at the time I didn't really want to. My biggest country that I wanted to visit first was France, but they weren't offering any visa like that, at least at the time that I could find. So out of all the countries that I was looking at, Germany was the one that had the one that would most meet my needs. So Germany it was. So that and then once I knew where I was going to go, then I started looking for an airline to get over there. And I did a lot of searching, on all those basic sites, to get out there. What is it like Kayak and Expedia and stuff like that. But none of them really offered any options that I wanted. So I did a bunch of more searching, and I was able to find a really cool airline called Norwegian Air, and they were awesome because they were a European airline, of course from Norway, that just started going back and forth between the States and Europe, and they were offering some amazing prices. So I was able to book a plane ticket. I had that place to book a plane ticket when I was ready. So ready to get over there. And I was looking out online, and I found out looking on their site, and they had an amazing deal. It was going to cost me $350 to fly one way from LA to Berlin. And I chose for LA because it was a lot. It just saved a lot of extra money just by being able to go up there. So that was my way to get over there. So I was pretty excited. Then I realized like I had to do something about my passport because I had a passport, but it was like all messed up. I like left it in the wash in my pants pocket one time, and I accidentally washed it and dried it. When it came out, it did not look all good. Suffice to say, passports are not good washed. So I had to replace it. Plus, it was good that I had to replace it because when I got the new passport, they're each good for 10 years at a time when you first apply for them, when you first get them. So the other one that I had a few years off on it, so I think there was only like 6 or 7 years left on it. So the new passport that I got was for 10 years because I didn't know how long I was going to stay there, but that was just a lot better to have more time. So I went ahead and I applied for my passport, so I got that taken out of the way. It only came in 2 weeks, so I was really excited about that. Then I decided, to go over there, I was just gonna, because I was gonna move there, and I didn't know when I was gonna return. I found out when my lease was up, and that also helped me to know when I was gonna leave. And then when I sorted that out, my lease was up where I was renting. I figured out I got to get rid of all my stuff, which I didn't have a lot of stuff to begin with because I had a very small place. It was just a studio apartment, and so I just to make everything easy on me, I had to do so many things already to get ready to go. I just decided to get rid of everything, well, almost everything. So I just gave away everything I owned, and my furniture and TV, everything, which most of it was given to me anyway. So and the stuff I wanted to keep, I was able to, thank God for moms and dads, moms and stepdads. So they let me keep the stuff that I had left, just stored in their garage. So that was helpful there. So yeah, and then I had a car. So of course, right before I left, I sold my car. I just got rid of that, which was super helpful because of extra money for the move. Because I was at the time doing my best to save up money, as much money as I could to have over there, just to have to start out with while I was going over there. And then thankfully around that time I was also lined up a few jobs that were going to be able to cover me over there, and then so that was the work and money was covered because of that. And then what else did I have to do? Then my lease was coming up like 2 months before I was going to leave because I finally decided to leave in January of 2016. I think January 16th, around there, January 16th. So in the middle of winter in Germany. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. So that was helpful. I knew when I had to leave, so I wanted to make sure I got everything out by that time. And then because I was going to Germany, I figured I need to have someplace to live. So a few months before I got out of my apartment, I started looking for place to live, what I can do, and it was challenging trying to find an apartment being a foreigner in Germany, and not ever having been there before. So I was figuring out how can I do that? Maybe I can go stay at a hotel for a while. That was pretty expensive because I didn't know how long I was going to be there and how long it was going to take me to get a apartment over there. And I was finding out, I was looking on all my searches, that it was going to be challenging for me to do that, to go there and because at first had to have, I forgot what it was, but it was just all the information I was getting was going to be, it was possible, but it was going to take more time than I had wanted, because I also had to figure out my visa situation over there. But on Facebook, I was a part of a few artist groups. So in one of the groups, I talked to different people, and I met this one guy who was from Germany, and I talked to him. I knew him for a while on Facebook, and then because of that, I was able to talk to him and ask him about living in Germany and places to live. So he was giving a lot of information, and come to find out that he was looking for a roommate, and I'm like, that's awesome, So because of that, it worked out. I was able to get to know him more and find out that we could be flatmates over there. So things were starting to come together. You know, I got my passport. Was getting rid of everything I owned, pretty much everything I owned there. I found a airline to get there that was going to be, it was just really cool, really affordable, and then I got a flatmate, and he was going to handle on everything on that side. And the original plan was for us. He was living in a place called Leipzig over there, and the plan was to get a place together in Germany. So Germany, in Berlin. So so that was cool because that's like the capital of Germany. I wanted to go to Berlin. I didn't really care where I was going to go because I hadn't been to Europe before, so any place was awesome. But anyways, that was a plan. So we were going to get a place together in Berlin, and I was going to go there first, and we were going to look around, stay in Leipzig for a while, and then look around, go to Berlin, and pick a place. And then because he knew everything over there, he spoke German and stuff. He could help me with my get everything situated, my bank account and my visa process, and so that was like awesome. So when I got that taken care of, that was like really cool. Um, and then again, my lease was ending a couple months before I was gonna leave. I was gonna fly out, so I had to figure out something to do within the 2 months. I guess looking back now, I guess I could have like maybe talked to my landlord about letting me just stay for 2 more months, but I don't know why I didn't do that. But there must have been some good reason. But anyway, because of that extra 2 months, I was looking around for someplace I could stay for a couple of months before I took off. And again, thank God for parents, because my mom let me stay with her for a couple of months, which was awesome because I have to confess I didn't spend didn't see my mother all that often before I left. At least I could have done better at that. So I thought that would be a really cool way for us to spend time together before I moved all the way over to Europe. So thankfully she thought the same way, and yeah, I was able to plus I had to move some of my stuff that I had left that I kept into their garage, and then yeah, so I was able to stay with them for a couple months, for the 2 months before I moved to Europe, which is so helpful. And of course, you know, being my mother, she was great with a great cook with a bunch of making sure I had a lot of great meals, great food, a lot of especially her beef and rice dish. That was one of my favorites, so I definitely took advantage of that before I left. But anyway, she was happy that I was there. I was happy that I could spend time with her before I left, and then from there I was able to take that 2 months to say my goodbyes to my family and friends that was there, and I definitely took advantage of that. So I did that before I left, and then yeah, that was pretty much it. All that stuff. It took me like 9 months before I left to finally get out there, and then also whittle down my clothes. Did that too, and by the time I left, I decided to leave with 3 big suitcases of all my clothes, and of course my computer. Oh yeah, another thing I did, I purchased, since I'm a freelance artist, I needed to get something that was going to be portable for me over there. So right before I left, I finally decided, after doing a bunch of research, I finally decided on getting a Wacom. At the time, it was called a Wacom Companion 2 Cintiq. They have mobile studios now, which are a lot cooler. But that one did the job for me. It basically just a portable sketchpad computer thing that I could use, because I knew I was going to need to get over there. And then I had a laptop and another Wacom tablet that I was going to use for my backup. So I did all that stuff to make sure that I was going to be covered in case something happened over there. In case something broke or whatever, I had a backup. Because yeah, as an artist, you definitely need a backup in case you're out there in some country. And I didn't know like the whole Amazon situation, or ordering stuff or anything. I wanted to make sure I had everything I needed to be able to work over there. And I got a bunch of other art supplies, but everything that I got fit into 3 large suitcases, and my backpack, and yeah, my Wacom Cintiq bag. So yeah, everything was that was it. That's all I took to Europe. Probably should have taken less, because after I went over there, I was talking to a friend of mine. He's all, "Oh, you took so many pieces of luggage. I thought you would have just bought clothes when you were there." And I'm like, man, I should have just done that, because that was a lot of stuff for one person. Bringing 3 luggages, 3 suitcases, and a backpack, and my another carry on for my art computer, my digital art computer. And oh yeah, and of course I bought luggage before I left because I didn't have any luggage. I wasn't really somebody who ever really traveled too much before, so luggage was necessary. And that's pretty much it. Then before I left, I was able to I wanted to spend a couple days with my son um, before I left, and then he was also, I asked him to drive me up to Los Angeles. So he helped me lug, which was great because he's young, strong, and he helped me lug all my luggage up there to Los Angeles. So yeah, booked a flight for LA on good old Norwegian Air, and yeah, and they drove me up there, and I lumbered. God helped me with my stuff in too, because I had all my stuff. That was a lot to carry for one person, but took it all in there, and yeah, got on the plane to Europe, to Germany, to Leipzig, which I was so freaking excited about. This was like awesome, like something that I'd been thinking about for the past couple of years and planning for the past 9 months, and thank God it was finally coming to fruition. I was getting on the plane and just so excited. It was going to be a long flight, um, like a 9-hour layover in London, which is crazy, but that was cool. That was probably part of why it was so cheap. It was a 9-hour flight. I think 10-hour flight to London, a 9-hour layover in London, and then I think it was and then a 2-hour flight from London to Berlin. And then my flatmate was going to meet me there, which he was so cool to help me because I needed a lot of help because I was one dude with 3 big luggages and a backpack and stuff. So he met me when I got to Berlin, and yeah, it was like hit the ground running when I got there. Of course, I was tired because I didn't get any sleep. That was like I think I'd been up for like 35 hours straight. Didn't sleep at all because of the traveling and the layover and getting to Berlin. But that was okay, man. I was excited. The second the doors opened, from the train, from the airport, and hit the floor running, man. So and it had to run too because we had to make the train. So it was just so excited to be in Germany, man, and like a brand, that just I'd never been there before in Europe, and here I was in Germany with all my stuff, and just the adrenaline of the excitement was just it was just there. So yeah, I got out the train, went outside to get on the train, and the door opened. My friend was there, grabbed my luggage, and then we got on the train to go to Leipzig. So yeah, that's pretty much how I got to Germany. It wasn't a whole lot to it, but that's what I did. It took me like that amount of time to get out there, and that was the whole time I couldn't wait. But I kept myself busy because there was a lot of stuff to do, so a few things to do. But I just could not wait to get there, and then I was so excited because I was finally there. And then of course my first experience with the passport control, I got off and he was like, thankfully he spoke English. He's like, hey, what are you doing here? And I'm like, oh man, I come to Germany. You have a great country, and I want to move here. And he's like, don't say that. I'm like, oh, I'm a tourist. I'm gonna be here for a little while, and yeah, so that's why I'm here. So he was really cool about that. He stopped me from saying the wrong thing. I don't know, maybe they're about immigrants. Oh, that was when all the immigrants were coming in from Syria. So there was a ton of people coming at that time. So yeah, he was pretty cool about that. He said, hey, keep that on the DL. You're just coming here as a tourist, and welcome to Germany. So he was really cool. Yeah, and then I was in Germany, and that's pretty much it. That's my story on how I got to Germany. Maybe some of this will help you. I hope so, and if not, maybe it was entertaining about me jabbering on about how I got there. But I'm just excited, still excited about that. I was so happy that I did that, and I'm always excited about when I get to a new country, and move around to a new country, and that I will talk about in another how-to video on how I move around Europe, while I'm here, and that's definitely a whole other video, and I'll have probably some other how-tos after that. But anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope this was helpful for some of you out there, and I hope you stay tuned for the next how-to video that comes along in this series. I don't think that's going to be the next one, but anyways, but it'll be coming soon. So anyways, yeah, and hope if you like it, please do press like on this video, and if you have any comments, please leave them below. And if there's anything I can do to answer, any questions about how, if you have any about how to move out here, please let me know. I'll try my best to help you on that. But anyway, you all have an awesome rest of your week, and I will see you on the next video. Ciao, ciao.